Hi guys, and welcome to another Divi video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, today we're going to be creating a nice image to text hover effect, and we're going to be using the Divi Image Hover Effect plugin. And they've got over, I think it's 250 different effects you can use here, and here's some of the ones we've built, and they're really easy to do. And I think at the moment they've got a sale on. Instead of $50 it's $15, which is really good. So let's get started. I've got a page here. Let's enable the visual builder. Once enabled, let's go to where we want to go and add a module. I've got a section with a row with 2 columns. Let's put one in this second column here. Now Divi comes as standard with all these light grey modules, just pretty much everything to build any sort of site with. The only one it doesn't include is the Divi Image Hover plugin right here, which is the one we're using today. And it prompts you straight away to put in a hover effect style. I like to put in my image first and then decide what I want to put in. So let's go down to content. I'm going to go ahead and add an image. For expediency, I'll just use the one I used before. Now we've got an image in there. Let's put in our effect. I'm going to use modern, and I'm going to use one called Layla today. And if we hover over, you can see it's put that little border in there already, and it's put an overlay on the image. Okay, well, let's go on down, and in the content we've put in our image. Image alt text really should be a description of the image. A lot of people put keywords in there or geolocation stuff for SEO purposes. Image opacity, I want it to be fully visible, so we're going to keep that at 1. If you bring it down, it's sort of 0.9, 0.8, etc. The more you bring it down, the more see-through the image gets. And we can have 3 sets of words in the title. We can have a prefix, first word, infix, middle word, and suffix, last word. So let's put in your. And we can decorate these. As you can see, it's putting them in there. We can decorate these all separately. For the content, like any other text box, you can put in text, you can put in an image, you can link to things if you want to. I'm just going to put in a bit of a lorem ipsum dummy text. And it's appeared in there. Now, the size of your box, you want to decide how much text you want in your box. If you've got a lot of text, you want to make it a fairly big box. Obviously, if you've got a small amount, you can make it smaller. But bear that in mind when you're building. Okay, so we've got our text in there. Let's keep rolling down. And we'll add a call to action button. Button text to say order now. Or whatever it is you want to say. And you see the button doesn't actually show up until you put a URL in there or a link. So if I put just a hashtag in there, the button should show up now. There we go, there's our button right there, fantastic. Okay, the image overlay. At the moment we can't really read that too well because the image is too bright, so if we add an image overlay we can take it down a bit in color. So let's make it black, but not quite as black as that. If we click on the color itself, the right hand slider is the opacity, or the see-throughness. If we just bring this down to a spot somewhere where we can read the writing, let's take it back just a little bit. That's about right. We can read all the writing nice and clearly, but we can still see the image back there. Great, that's fine. Don't want to use a swap effect. That's if we're using 2 images rather than image and text. Don't need to put a background, a link, or an admin label in there. Let's go on to our design now, the title. Don't need to do anything to that. That's the general title. That's all 3 of these words you can affect at once there. For instance, you could make them blue, or the background blue if you wanted to, and you can make the color purple if you wanted to, but I really don't want to do any of that. But I want to edit them separately, so if we go down a bit, we can have the prefix, little one there, infix, the middle one, and the suffix, the last one here. The only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the suffix red, I think. There we go. Alright, let's roll on down. Now the content, this is everything here, including the button. I want to push it down a little bit. I don't want to change the font or the color or anything, but you can do all that here if you want to change the font or the color or the size. I'm going to leave mine just as is, and I'm going to keep going down. And I'm going to go to the button. And I want to make my button red, I believe. So I'm going to use custom styles for the button, yes. Button text color we'll have as white. Button background, let's make that red. And button border color, we'll make that red too. But when we hover, let's change it to orange. So we've got desktop and hover. And to get these two tabs up, I simply hit the little arrow icon just to the right of the dark legending there, and that's there with all of these. And if you've got a little arrow up there, you can set a hover state for whatever it is that you're hovering over. So let's do this one the same, the background color. We'll give it orange on hover too. And if we wanted to, we could make that orange on hover as well. So let's put this back to desktop. We can go back to our suffix. So let's set this to be orange. There's a little arrow, hover. We'll set that to be orange on hover also. Okay, well let's go back down. We've got our button. Custom borders, don't need any custom borders. You can put a border around your title and stuff if you want to add another border. Spacing is where we're going to push our content down. So I want the text. And let's give it a margin on top. Let's say 30 pixels. Let's have a look at that. That's great. So I'd like to put some space on my button as well. So we need to go up to our button and roll down a bit. And we've got button margin and button padding. Now I can add a bit of margin to the top of this, let's say 30 pixels as well, to push that down. That's absolutely fine. Alright, well I don't think there's a whole lot else we really want to do to this. Don't want any spacing or box shadow or anything else, transforms or animations in there. We're pretty much done. I think I might just darken down that overlay just a little bit more so we can see it a little bit better. So let's go back to our content, to our overlay. I'm going to bring that opacity just up a little bit more. There we go, that's slightly clearer, I think. Okay, let's save and see what we've got. Save draft or publish. Exit the visual builder. And let's have a look. And there's our little hover box with the border around it. And our button changes color on hover, so does our here. And it'll take him wherever it is you put your URL there. So we're good to go. And how easy was that? So that's the Divi Image Hover Effect plugin. I'll put the link below the video. I hope you've enjoyed that and found it useful. If you have, please ring the bell, give it a thumbs up, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once again, this has been Jamie with System 22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.